What's up, everybody? It's Stefan here from Mod to Fame, and we are back with another video. In this video, we're in the studio, so you know we're about to get technical, and we're going 1v1 brand new to the market, Kong 2650 blower for Hellcats versus the tried and true proven powerhouse, the Whipple 3-liter. Let's jump into it. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into it, we have to give the biggest shout out to Scoggin Dickey Parts Center because they did the grueling tasks of putting a Hellcat engine on a dyno, 4 different camshafts, 6 different superchargers, and they dropped an hour-long video out of that so that we can dissect it and give you this data now. But because it's so dense in data, I need to extract that for you guys and answer the important questions that you have. For this particular one, which blower should I upgrade to on my Hellcat? For this comparison, what we're going to use is number 1, price, number 2, horsepower, number 3, torque, number 4, boost, number 5, IATs, number 6, ease of install, number 7, reliability, and number 8, gain over stock blower, so that we can determine which of these two are going to be best. Giving you a little bit of background, the Kong 2650 is brand new to the marketplace. Public deliveries start going out next week. As soon as next week, they're going to start sending out delivery. So this is brand new, hot off the press data for you guys. We didn't have the answers before this.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
But now we do. So jumping right in, let's start with the Whipple 3-liter supercharger. As you guys can see on my chart here, this Whipple 3-liter had a 3.5 upper and a 10% lower on a cammed 6.2-liter engine that produced at 7,000 RPMs, 1,147 horsepower, 980 foot-pound of torque at 18.9 pounds of boost. So basically 0.1 from 19 pounds of boost. That is absolutely amazing. Now, these are crank engine numbers, right? So crank is definitely not going to be the same thing as wheel, but I can tell you that Hellcats don't have that much drivetrain loss because the 8 HP is just so efficient. And more than likely, you're going to be able to make anywhere from about 1050 to 1100 to the wheel using these same specs depending on where you live. To give you a little background, this was done at a high elevation and a high temperature. Maybe you live at sea level, so you're going to gain more boost, which means more power. Now let's move over to the new contender. The Kong 2650. You guys saw it there. 1,159 horsepower, 943 foot-pounds of torque, 19 pounds of boost on the head, so 0.1 more. So what do we have a difference of? That is a gain of horsepower of 12, but a loss of torque of 37. So what does that mean? Is the story over? Does that mean that The Kong is better because it made a little bit more horsepower with 0.1 pound of boost more? Or is the Whipple better because it made more torque? There's a lot more details that we got to look at. So let's start over. Let's start with number one, price. The Whipple. Right now, I went on HHP's website and saw that the Whipple spec'd out for my red eye. I have a 2021 Dodge Challenger Hellcat red eye. This car is an absolute factory monster. Runs 10.2, 1 1/4, 6.52 and an eighth, 142 60 foots. This thing is amazing. So in my particular case, do I start over and do like a full build with engine and all that? Or do I just upgrade the blower? Well, that's a good question, and that's what we're going to answer here. So $8,100 plus taxes and shipping for the Whipple. And for the Kong 2650, $6,000 plus taxes and shipping. However, the biggest difference in that price is the Whipple comes complete. It's going to come with its own bypass. It's going to come with its own cooling bricks, which are a lot larger, which we'll get back to in a second. And it's going to be ready to pretty much install on your vehicle. We're going to talk about installation later. Kong 2650, granted, yes, $2,000 less. You are reusing your factory supercharger lid, your factory intercooler bricks, your factory bypass valves. So it's a lot more that you're transferring over. Therefore, it's going to be a lot less that it comes with. So it makes sense that there's a $2,000 difference. But this is one of those scenarios where it depends, right? Because you got to remember the Whipple comes, like I said, complete. Like I said, it comes with its own bypass, its own cooling bricks. It comes with a 112 throttle body on a Whipple Stage 2 3-liter for that $8,100. It comes with fuel rails, upgraded fuel rails already. Like all of that is part of the Whipple. So if you want to match apples to apples, and you have a good blower. This is assuming you have a good blower. Even if, okay, maybe you don't have a good blower. Maybe your rotor's touched, but it didn't explode. If your blower exploded, this kind of blows us out of the water because you gotta order new cooling bricks, which are expensive. And in this particular case, brings up a very valid concern. If you look at my chart, under temperature, IAT, you'll see that the Kong 2650 at 7,000 RPM was 95 degrees to the Whipple's 96 degrees. So that's within margin of error. That means that it's the same. But the reason why the asterisk is there is because that was with PWR cooling bricks. How efficient they are, we don't have a before and after, so we don't know. But if we could assume, we can say it's probably helping somewhat. So assuming you got to buy some cooling bricks, those PWR bricks are $1,500. Assuming that your supercharger blew up, your lid is no good. Now you got to find a lid. You're going to have to upgrade your throttle body. So your throttle body, unless you're going to run a stock throttle body, which you're probably not going to do, you're going to want at least 105 millimeter throttle body. In addition, the Whipple comes with an intake. So you're going to have to add an intake as well if you don't have one already. So there are things you have to consider when you look at the price difference. When it comes down to it, if we take $6,000, we add a JLT intake for $500. You add a throttle body, a decent one, let's say Granatelli or Nick Williams or something like that for $700 to $800, probably around $800. That's $1,200 on top of the six. Now you're at $72. The other thing is, if your blower is coming off your car, then more than likely you're going to need a gasket kit. So you're not going to want to use your old gasket because now you're tearing off the lid, you're tearing up those gaskets. That gasket kit is another $260. So in all actuality, that 72 now just became 75, and the Whipple is 81 versus 75. So cost-wise, there is going to be a difference depending on if everything in your blower is good to go. But price-wise, a lot closer than what it looks when you add up everything else around it. All right, so with that being the case, what this is coming down to and coming very, very close to is that they are very close performers. So it seems like you have an either or situation, a matter of choice. But let's go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about the installation. as I mentioned, the Whipple comes with everything. Supercharger, fuel rails, intake, throttle body, 130 millimeter. It comes with everything ready to drop in. So it connects to your factory water lines and everything for your air to water. So installation for the Whipple in this particular case is going to win because I rated the installation of the Whipple an 8. And I rated the installation of the Kong 2650 a 6. And the reason why I rated it a 6 is because there's a lot of labor involved. It doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're paying someone, they're charging you to break down your blower to transfer everything over. There's a lot of things you need to complete that supercharger. If you don't have upgraded rails, you're going to want to do that. If you don't have, do you need them? No, you don't have to have them, the upgraded rails. So we'll even leave that out. No problem. But you're going to need to figure out an intake system. Maybe you have one already, but does it work with an upgraded throttle body? Do you have one? You have to add one. So you got to transfer over your bricks. You have to make sure that those gaskets get transferred over properly. A professional needs to do this, and they're going to charge you for that time as well. Whereas the Whipple is kind of remove and replace, right? Just an R and R. So it's a little bit easier. It's not easy, but it's easier. So in that case, the Whipple wins. Now, there's another huge elephant in the room, and that's reliability. The Whipples have been proven to be a problem. The failure rate on Whipples is extremely high. So they've been working on it. They've created new casing, I believe. They've made changes to the casing to make it better. Now, a lot of it is related to spinning the blower faster. So the question is, I've seen reliability on Whipples, but typically it's for blowers that remain 20 pounds of boost and below. But it's the guys that want to spin them 22, 23, 25 pounds of boost, and they are falling apart. That 3 liters of displacement, those larger rotors are falling apart. Now, comparatively, we do not have data on the Kong 2650 and the Hellcat platform to know about reliability. So I put it in A, right? We can't really rate that. But what we do know is the 2650 is prevalent in the GM community. The Corvette ZR1, the ZL1 for the Camaro, and them things put in work. These guys are spinning them crazy RPM. We're talking damn near 8,000 RPM they're spinning them. They're making 26, 27 pounds of boost through 2650s, and they're not failing. But here's where the biggest difference is going to rely. The Whipple, I would not feel comfortable spinning that blower any higher than what they spun it. Because if you come to sea level, they are not at sea level. If you come to sea level, that 18.9 pounds of boost will turn into 21 pounds of boost, or 20.9 pounds of boost. And you might be in a danger zone. I don't know, right? So with the 3.5 upper, 10% lower, you could be in a danger zone of potentially eating a blower or it rattling or you having to send it back. Wait, is a lot of blowers that went back. By the way, Whipple, I have a great idea on what to do with your old blower casing. As a turbo guy, you probably know what it is. Let's talk. We know that these Kong 2650s, based on what they're doing in the GM community, they can be spun to the moon and they will spin to the moon reliably. And we've seen that in this very same comparison where they spun this blower up to 23.4 pounds of boost. With a 275 upper and a 15% lower, making 1,236 wheel horsepower and 1031 torque. Bro, the blower was comfortable, spinning. It went up there, no problem. And that's with belt slip. But I spoke to Kong, and Greg Kong sent me this image. He is developing an idler to fix the belt slip so that you can spin the Kong 2650 as high as you want. Spin it to the moon. And we cannot say the same thing about the Whipple. Now, there is a Whipple 3.8 liter. And it's going to make that type of power at 20 pounds of boost, right? And as you spin it higher and higher, it's going to make more. So it depends. But cost of the Whipple 3.8, I did not look up. That is a different category. It's supposed to be a different category of blower. We're talking about 2.65 liter versus 3.8 liter. That's huge, huge difference. So they are not supposed to compare. So I guess, guys, this one is a difficult one. It's a difficult one for me because it really just comes down to a matter of preference. The reliability thing is a concern, and it's just the reality, guys. And for that reason of reliability, I like to know that, yes, today my Hellcat Red Eye is stock. And if I put on this Kong 2650, I can make, probably 1050 wheel out of this car, right? In stock form at sea level. If I put on a Whipple 3.0 and run it at the boost that they want to see and not go past that RPM range of what they want to see the blower spun at, I can make 1030, 1040. I don't know, right? It's going to come with a bigger throttle body, so not really sure. Or basically, I can make the same power. But the question is, am I stuck there? I want to now drop some pistons and rods in my motor. I want to get some ported heads. I'm going to put a build on my trans. And I'm now running, the way it was, I was running 9.0s and 880, from 880 to 9.1. This is what I see being very possible with a stock Hellcat Red Eye with just this blower and some supporting mods on a stock engine, stock transmission, great tuning, and ethanol. I can very much see that my Red Eye with either one of these blowers will run into the 8s, right? But the bug bites us at that point and we get hooked. So which one can I turn up? And which one will I feel safe turning up? And the answer to that question is what makes the winner in my mind the Kong 2650. All right, boys, I hope you like that one, man. That was a Tech Tuesday for you guys. Tomorrow we are dropping the Dodge Charger EV Scat Pack. We took it. We went from the dealership on Friday to the racetrack on Saturday to find out what that thing runs. So come back tomorrow for that video. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you guys then. It's your boy Stefan here from Mod to Fame. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss another video. And please comment below which one you would go. Kong 2650, Whipple 3.0. I want to see what you guys say. All right? We out.